We're going to be covering quite a few bits today. So that will be SMS Plus, Florey Plus, custom Floreys, batch messaging, and appointment reminders with the friends and family test worked into that as well. And what I'll do is leave some time at the end. My colleague Nikita is sitting in on this call, and Nikita will be able to answer any questions that come in during the course of it. If you do have any questions, just pop those into the chat. What we'll do, just because of the size of the webinar today, we will wait until the end and we can gather all those questions and answer those for you at the end of the webinar. But yeah, perfect. We're going to be using EMIS today as our clinical system, but pretty much everything that's done is identical, both on System 1 and EMIS. If you want to get some info on how this may work on System 1, we have some videos on our YouTube channel, which will go through the flow of using all of these features on System 1. But yeah, to get started with SMS Plus, we will just make sure that we've got a dummy patient loaded up on our clinical system. So using EMIS, I've loaded up my dummy patient on this. And in order to look at SMS Plus, so that's our paid for module and how to send messages. You can also ask patients to respond. You can attach a document or a photo to that as well. And then Florey Plus, that's our structured questionnaires that we can send to patients. Get pre-appointment info, or easily earn quote points with that. So yeah, we'll crack on with the SMS Plus. So this is located on the Accurx toolbar, which should be fairly familiar with. If anyone doesn't have this, you can download it at accurx.com. But in order to access the SMS Plus feature, you just use the message icon here, and this will bring up the compose a message box. To send the message, so you'll be presented with the patient's mobile number in the first instance, and above that you'll see the basic information. So you see the NHS number, date of birth, and gender. And it doesn't just have to be SMS. You can send this in email if you want. So just click the drop down menu there. I've not loaded an email address to this particular dummy patient, but if you have the email address for that patient, then it will be here, and you can also send it out by email. So what you see below that is a section which will let you search for templates or questionnaires. So if you have a preloaded template that you want to send out to the patient themselves, you'll be able to access this through here. And yeah, as you can see, we've got quite a number here. So for example, if I want to send a blood pressure questionnaire out, you just start searching it and it'll put you in the right way. If we're not looking to use a template or a questionnaire, that's fine. We can just use the free text box here. So we would just type in what we want to send out to the patient, and this is how it would appear to them. So it would load your name and the practice at the bottom there. What we can do as well is we can go down and allow a patient to respond to any SMS that they receive. If we just want to give out information such as an update on the clinic's opening hours, and we don't want response to come back, then that's fine. We can untick that as well. What we can also do is attach things to our SMS messages. That's the wrong feature there. Give me 1 second. Sorry, but I was getting a bit ahead of myself. So we can attach files or NHS UK advice. So, if we wanted to use EMIS Web to send out a FITS or a signal, we can do that here. If we want to attach something from our desktop, we could, attach a leaflet that is going to be relevant to the patient themselves, and also NHS UK advice. So if we click on this here, for example, we'll be able to search for NHS advice that we want to send out. We can, preview what we're sending out as well. So if it was this 10 stress busters advice, click on the link here, and this will take you to the NHS advice page that you're going to be linking the patient to. If we go back to our messages just now, yeah, we can just see that we also have the button to be able to save a message to the record. If you're not wanting that to be the case, this can be unticked as well. And then what I initially clicked on was the opportunity to add another message. So if we click on this button here, what we will see is the original message. So if we wanted to get some information out to a patient today, we could send this. We can also schedule this original message. So for example, if we wanted to go out at 8 AM tomorrow, and we wanted to follow up with, if it was, for example, blood pressure, we can also schedule that. So if we wanted that to be a custom date and time, 2 weeks from now, we can do that. Perfect. What you can see is we will just fill this in, sorry. So we'll put this here, and if we click schedule, send and schedule all, this will move over to the online system that you're using. So using EMIS today, I can go into that, just to make sure that you're on the patient's page. So this is the dummy patient that I'm using today. And if I go into consultations, I will be able to see the message that was sent out. This was one that I tried just earlier this afternoon, but if I wait a second, then it will refresh up here, and then we'll be able to see that new message that was sent out to them. Give that a minute or two to update, and we'll come back to it. But we can also have a look at the templates that we want to use when using the SMS Plus feature. So if we go back to our toolbar here, and we go to our initials, it'll bring down a drop-down menu here, and we can go to manage organizations. We can see the templates and Florey questionnaires here. And what this will take us into is any templates that we have set up. So if we wanted to create a new template, for example, called opening hours, we could do so here, add any free text that we want into it, toggle whether we want the patient to respond, so they can do so with photos or text, and give that a category and snowman code. Just a test on this. So that's just a reminder that you just have to fill something in on the body of the message itself. Perfect. And we can see here the template that we've just set up. So this will just be set up with under the availability as your own template. So you can see that this section is called My Templates. And this just means it's only available to you at the moment. But what we can do is, if you don't wish to use it any longer, you toggle that off. And if you wish to make it available for sending it as a batch message, which we'll touch on a little later in this webinar, you can toggle that on and off here. If you want to make this available to other people at your practice, then you can click the Copy to Practice button. If you then just save that again, then you'll see template created, and and this will move over to your practice templates. So we've got this set up as the Accurx practice templates, and we can just go down and have a look at this. So yeah, we can see here the opening hours template that I set up here. As was the case when we created it, so it's only set up for individual messages at the moment. We can toggle that onto batch as well, and we can also go into the template itself and edit anything if we wish to do so. If we're happy with that, we can just update the template there. That's SMS Plus and how to send out a message and manage the templates that you create. Just having a look at Florey Plus now. So that will be, as I mentioned, the structured questionnaires. So if you have Florey Plus, you have additional questionnaires that you can use. And that's accessed on the toolbar as well, just on the message button here. That will load up exactly the same as it did last time. Once again, just have your patient loaded up on the clinical system. And when you want to access one of our Florey questionnaires or Florey questionnaire that you have, you just click on this button that we touched on last time, so including templates and questionnaires. If we wanted to follow up with a blood pressure questionnaire, we can just type that in and it will load anything up that has the words blood pressure in that. And there's three Floreys that we can see here. So I've got the standard blood pressure questionnaire, blood pressure 4-day home monitoring, and 7-day home monitoring. So for example, 4 days, if you were needing readings sent each day, the patient would be able to respond to those. You can also preview anything from this window. So if you want to just check the questionnaire, Florey questionnaire that you're sending out, you just click the preview button and it would link to this here. And we'll just go back into that just now. If we're happy with that, we can select a template. So we just select the standard blood pressure questionnaire template. And we'll see that some text is loaded up in the body of the message. And you'll see the section underneath that says, please complete this questionnaire, and a link will also generate there. You can see that the Save to Record button is automatically checked when selecting this questionnaire. And if we send this now, we can be able to see it from the patient's point of view. You will just see the yellow banner at the bottom, which just states that this was already sent to the patient on that day. That's what I was just testing it earlier, but it's a good prompt in case you go to do something after already actioning it once. If I click send now, this will generate and we'll be able to just see it from the patient's point of view here. Perfect. So we can see the message as it's received by the patient. It says, hi Jordan, I'd like to submit your blood pressure questionnaire. And it gives you a link to the questionnaire. So if the patient was to click this, they would be taken to a screen like this. So just asking them for the blood pressure reading should take no more than 5 minutes to complete. So the patient just had to pop in their date of birth. Once to confirm that, they're given instructions for taking their blood pressure readings. To continue, they can do that here. And we just put in some readings that we've got here. So I've got 128, 78. Perfect. And they can submit that. And it just gives them a message at the end, just letting them know the practice will review this information and be in touch. So that's the patient view of receiving one of the questionnaires. And yeah, that'll be one of the most used questionnaires. If we want to have a look in the inbox, we can see how this is managed. And to do this, just click on the little in tray on the toolbar here, and you see the Accurx inbox that we've got set up. So these will go into the tab under Florey's, and you see a number of different subheadings. Some are grayed out. That's just because I have notifications turned off for those. If you want to turn notifications on for them, for example, the Accurx inhaler reminder, you can do so just using the toggle bar here, and then that will pop up to those that you've got notifications on for, and you'll also be able to see the number of unread messages on that. If you want to keep notifications off for that, you can just make sure that's toggled to off. But for this one, we're interested in blood pressure, so we can click on this one here. And we can see the readings that were sent back by the patient on the back of this particular Florey. There we go. We can save these readings to the record. And if I bring this up in full, yep. We also have the opportunity to reply to the patient, add a note. So, for example, if these come in and I was keeping an eye out for this information, one particular flow is just adding initials to it, and others in the practice would know that I'm dealing with this. So that is not anything that's saved to the record. It's just like an internal communication system within the practice, just to keep things nice and organized. And you can also, assign this. So if I was, working on the reception team and wanted to send this to the team of doctors, I could do so. That would then go into the associated folder, and under team, sorry, and then that would be received in this part, and then it can be worked on, moved around, etc. If we are happy with that, so we'll go back into Florey's just now, go back to blood pressure, and just look at this one. So if we're happy enough with that, then what we can do is just mark that as done. Amazing. So we will just crack on to the next part, which is going to be custom Florey's. And to do that, what we do, so these allow users to build their own Florey's. They can be sent out, via batch or individually. And that's just from your toolbar. So how you want to access those is just go to your toolbar, click on your initials here, and when you go to manage organization, you'll be taken back to this landing page here. If you go to templates and Florey questionnaires, and you see along this header here, it'll have name of your practice under Florey's, and you can create a custom Florey questionnaire. So to do this, you just click the button here, and that would take you through the flow of making a Florey questionnaire. So you just fill in the questions. So we can put this one, offer patient statin, save it next. And it will ask you to add a question. So you can add up to 15 questions in this. And they can be anything that you want. So following on from consultation, would you like me to start? To start statin. And there'll be one answer preloaded. You could put yes, then there'll be no snowmelt code attached to that. Sorry, no snowmelt attached to that. If you wanted the second potential answer to be no, you could put snowmelt code that is associated with that. So if it was statin declined, that would you be able to save it. And if you go back into the message function here, just load this up. Here we go. So yeah, and if we wanted to load that particular questionnaire that we've just made, we can see that that's saved under here. So you can click on that, send it to the patient, and they can respond to that accordingly. And yet that's creating the sort of custom Floreys that we have. But what I'll do is I'll move on to batch messaging and appointment reminders, including in that the ability to link that to your friends and family tests. So to do that, we'll also be doing it on EMIS. And what you want to do is go back to your toolbar. And you can go to batch messaging here. If you click on batch messaging, it will take you to the landing page here. And what you do is just click send a batch message. You see the different options for sending batch message. You can, self-book for sending flu or asthma clinic invites, or, SMS or Florey questionnaires here. So if we want to follow the flow for sending an SMS batch message, we can just click on this. This can be a template that you use or free text. So we can just use a test one here. And you can also attach anything to the SMS batch message you're sending out. If this was something to do with flu and we wanted to attach flu vaccination leaflet, we can do so here. And crucially, when this loads up, we'll be able to preview it. So if you, it's recommended that you double check anything that's sent out to the patient before sending this off. And we can see that, yep, this is definitely what we were wanting to send out here. There is also the option to put SNOMED codes associated with that in. If we're happy with that, you can just click add a patient list. And patient lists will be generated as CSV file from your clinical system. If you're looking at how to do this, either from EMIS or System 1, there's instructions on the drop-down menus here, and that will show you how to do so. So we just use a batch demo here that we've got. Let's go down and get it. There we go. And what this will do is this will populate the patient list onto our batch message. Perfect. So we can see there's a total of 8 patients within the patient list that we uploaded as CSV file. 3 patients can be sent a batch message, and there's 5 patients that aren't able to be sent batch message. If we click on the drop down here, we can see that there just wasn't any accepted UK telephone number associated with those patients. It may not be that we don't have a telephone number at all, maybe it's just not in service anymore. But what you can do is just click to download the list, and this will be able to be passed on to your admin team to update your records and get that sent out to the list of patients there. If we're happy with that, we can click continue, and it gives us the option to send a message now or at a later time. So, if we want to click now, that's absolutely fine. We can toggle the button here for staggered sending. This is very useful for sending out Florey questionnaires when you're expecting some inbound off the back of that. So if we refer to our blood pressure Florey questionnaire again, and you're expecting some inbound, you might want to stagger the sending for that. So we've got 3 patients on our patient list who are going to receive this. Therefore, you can send it out up to, staggered over 3 days here. You can also schedule the message if you want it to be sent out at a later time. And to do that, you just select the date and the time that you want that to go out. So if you wanted that to go out on Monday the 6th, 9 AM, we could do that. If you're happy with everything here, we'll make this message go out now. And we just, make sure it goes out now. So we can review this, and you'll be just showing a review of the message in total. So type of message, how many patients, etc. And it's another opportunity to preview the attachment that you have on that. There we go. So we can see that that's absolutely fine. And if we're happy, we can send the message here. Just remember to keep your clinical system and Accurx toolbar open, and that basically allows us to save to the clinical system. So if I go into EMIS here, in summary consultations for this, we can see the SMS message is sent out earlier, and that there's new things here. So yeah, we can see that was sent out as well. We can also have a look at the Floreys that we can send out. So if we go back to toolbar and batch messaging again, and just click on send a batch message, you can see that Floreys can be sent out as well. So these are just structured questionnaires, and as we showed earlier, that you can create your own Floreys to be sent out. For example, the statin one, which we created earlier. So if we want to select Florey, we can choose from the drop-down menu here, and there's a number of different options that you have. So we can click BMI questionnaire. So BMI and smoking questionnaires in particular, will save to the patient's record automatically. And if you select a smoking questionnaire, if the patient sends replies that they are a smoker, they'll be kind of automatically sent smoking cessation advice, and the associated SNOMED code will automatically save into the record. So we just keep all this as it is, and it's the same flow as sending the SMS message. So you'd add the patient list, review the document, and send it off. Just while we've got time, we want to click on the self-book system as well. So if you go back to the landing page and select self-book, you'll be able to see the different slot types available here. It'll also let you know how many appointments are available with each slot type, and just the message here. So we can fill this in as test, and once again, the optional SNOMED code. Once this comes up, we can add our batch message. And we can see that this is going to go out to those particular patients. So when that's sent off, the patient will be presented with a screen where they can send in using their date of birth and book a slot appointment that's available in your clinical diary. There is also this section here, which lets us look at the status of the batch messages that we have set up. So the batch status of it, who it's going out to, we can see, just refresh there, but we'll go back down to it in a second. Yep, we can see the self-book link that I sent out, showing the send in at the moment. If we want to view that in any more detail at all, we can do so. And it just seems to be reloading at the moment now. Hopefully it works in. There we go. That is, this particular section, which just lets us just know some things about some extra details about the message itself. Query of time. So we want to spend around 10 minutes or so looking at appointment reminders. And we can link that to the friends and family test. And then we'll say that at least 5 minutes or so for questions at the end, because there has been quite a lot of info today. But to manage, to access appointment reminders, what you want to do is go back to the toolbar, just click on your initials, and you'll be able to go down to manage organization here. What you want to do is scroll down to appointment reminders, and you can click manage reminders here and have a look at the appointment reminders that you already have set up. So you can see that we've got quite a number of appointment reminders set up for our practice already. And if we want to create a new reminder, we can just click new appointment reminder. This will ask us what site locations you want to select. So if you're practicing multiple sites, you can click multiple, you can select this to click all of the sites, or you can just select one. So we'll select Accurx office today. And it will also ask you about the slot type. So you can see a number of these are grayed out, which is just because we've got a lot of appointment reminders set up. But those that haven't got appointment reminders set up will be able to be clicked on. So if you wanted to select medical student here, we could do so. You can see that a number of this is pre-populated, so the patient name and reminder of your appointment, which is booked for time at the location. So that will be a link to the site location that you selected from above. It'll also be a link also generated, sorry, which patient can click on and cancel the appointment if they wish to do so. And the name of your practice will generate at the bottom. So this will go out automatically 24 hours before the patient is due to come in for their appointment. But if you also want to tick the box to allow that to go out 1 week before the appointment, you can do so by just clicking that here. We'll keep that for 24 hours before appointment at the moment. And you can also toggle whether you want to send a post-appointment message, which we're going to use for the friends and family test here. Just this here, so this is sent out to the patient 24 hours after their appointment. And is most commonly used for friends and family tests. So if you want to get a bit of an insight into feedback from the patient in terms of how their visit to the clinic was, so you just toggle this to on, and it will come up with the name of the patient and the practice automatically, and there'll be a free text box here, so you could put something like thank you for visiting the practice yesterday. Please use this link to let us know that you found our service. What you want to do is have a friends and family test that you can link to that. So I would just go into minutes here, and this is created absolutely by you. So you can use, a Google survey, you can use SurveyMonkey. It's completely set up by you. All that you need to do is get the link for this, so that you can put it into your post-appointment message and receive the feedback. So in this example, I've got this one set up for the Accurx practice already. And if we want to do that, we can usually just send the link here. Give me 1 second. There we go. This is the link to the button here. So as I give you a link to the friends and family survey already, and we want to keep this nice and neat in the message itself. So you can shorten the URL into something more aesthetically pleasing. So once we've got that link, we can go back to our toolbar, and we can just include this in the post-appointment message. And set reminder live. This will just create that appointment reminder there. You also have the opportunity to see any cancellations that come through. So if anyone, cancels their appointment, when they receive the message with the link that's also generated, you can see that here. Also search by NHS number or name of the patient, and as well as seeing appointment reminders that are sent out, as well as the status of them. So we can see that these have all been delivered here. So that's walking through quite a bit of information We had the Florey Plus, SMS Plus, creating custom Floreys, and then batch messaging and appointment reminders with your friends and family tester. We've got about 10 minutes or so I'll just let my colleague Nikita answer any questions that have come in during the course of the webinar itself. So I'll pop myself on mute and Nikita will be able to touch on this.
Thanks, Jordan. We did just have one question asking if you'd be able to go through the Teams part of the inbox, if possible. So not sure if you'd just be able to demo that. And then, yeah, like Jordan said, we've got around 10 minutes for questions. So please just pop them into the chat and we'll go through them.
Perfect. Yep, we can absolutely do that. So if we go to toolbar again, and go into the inbox here, we can see the inbox as it is, with the Teams section up at the top here. So in the example earlier, we commented that we could send, or we could assign responses to certain teams. So if we go back into Floreys, I believe we might have marked this as done. If that's the case, go into all, or we just take one that's in the Florey inbox at the moment. So we can see the blood pressure for responses that have come in here. So if we want to assign that to a team, as mentioned, a common flow is sending that to a team of doctors. We can just click assign. And what will happen in this situation is this will move from the Florey's inbox into the team's inbox, specifically within doctors. So if we go into this here, we can see that this particular Florey response has moved into the doctor's inbox under Teams there. We can then do anything that we want to do at that stage, whether it be reply to patient, add a note to the Florey response, or it can be assigned again. If you want to mark something as urgent and they think needs particular attention, just click the red flag here. It will keep that at the top of your inbox, and it will also be highlighted in that red banner. If it's not wanted to be marked urgent, that's fine. We can take that off. We do keep an audit trail of anything that is marked as urgent or not urgent, for audit purposes there. And then if you're happy that that's been done and dealt with, the done button will just remove that from Teams particular inbox.
Lovely. Thank you, Jordan. Also, something just to let Lincolnshire practices know is that we are hosting another webinar on Thursday, the 2nd of February. Oh, there we go. Which you'll be invited to. I'll just send out the registration link if you'd like to come along, but this would be about our online consultation and video consultation features. So if you want to learn how to make the most out of remote consultations, please come along next Thursday, and then I've just popped in the registration link. We'll also make sure to send that round via email when we send out the recording of this webinar. We have just had a couple more questions come through, so thank you for your questions. We've had one question asking if you can use Florey to send to the patient's email. So that's right, when you're sending an individual Florey to a patient, that doesn't just need to go through to their mobile phone number. You can send that as an email instead of as a text. And then we've had a question about if a message fails, how do you save that notification to System 1? I might just have to follow up with you on that one. So for batch messaging, we won't save anything into the record to say that that message has failed. Let me just have a look. We do keep this in the practice inbox if a message has failed, but at the moment we don't save that back into the patient's record. What we can do is take that feedback back to the team that that's something that you'd like to save to the record as well. So thanks for letting us know. if anyone has any more questions, please do just pop them into the chat. Just a reminder as well, I've put the Zoom registration link for next week's webinar into the chat. So if you did want to sign up, the link is just in the meeting chat.
Just whilst we wait on any questions that may come in, we also have our support team who are very useful and usually get back to you within 5 minutes. So you can click on the user support button that will be accessible within the Accurx page, and we also have the customer success inbox, so just customer.success@accurx.com if you wish to get in touch, and we'll get back to you.
Great, thanks, Jordan. We have just had a question asking if we can do the next webinar in System 1. We do have monthly webinars where we'll alternate clinical systems, so we'll send the link if you would like to join our next set of webinars. In terms of the way that all the Accurx features work with System 1 is sending out the message, sending out Florey and creating templates, and even the inbox and batch messaging and appointment reminders. All of that same functionality works the same with System 1. The only difference is with System 1, we'll save as a new journal instead of a consultation, like how it is in EMIS. But yeah, we do have some video resources and upcoming webinars in System 1.
Right. If there are no more questions coming in, we can wrap that up there. Thanks for all that attended today. And yes, we will follow up with all the post webinar info, as well as links to how you can navigate this on System 1 as well. Thank you.